नमस्कार, सलाम, याली मदद, सत श्री अकाल, गुड इवनिंग टू कैलगरी। आप सबका स्वागत है हमारे प्रोग्राम कैलगरी फोकस में। ये प्रोग्राम आप देखते हैं हमारे अपने टीवी चैनल पंजाबी नेशनल पर और सुनते हैं हमारे अपने रेडियो सुरसंगम पर। हर वीक की तरह मैं आपका होस्ट अमृत बरार हाजिर हूँ एक बार फिर से बहुत सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन और अपने एक नई गेस्ट के साथ। आज हम लोग बात करेंगे और इन्फॉर्मेशन देंगे आपको स्ट्रीट क्लीनिंग के बारे में। लास्ट वीक सिटी ऑफ कैलगरी से सिटी रोड्स के डायरेक्टर मिस्टर ट्रॉय मैक्लाउड वाज विद अस एंड वी स्पोक अबाउट स्ट्रीट क्लीनिंग प्रोसेस और कैसे जो सिटी ऑफ कैलगरी है वो किस तरह से इस प्रोसेस को कामयाब बनाती है हमारे सारे कैलगेरियंस के लिए। एक और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जो इस स्ट्रीट क्लीनिंग में बहुत अहम रोल प्ले करती है, दैट इज़ कैलगरी पार्किंग अथॉरिटी। जैसे मिस्टर ट्रॉय ने पिछली बार बताया कि वी वर्क हैंड टू हैंड विद कैलगरी पार्किंग अथॉरिटी। सो जो स्ट्रीट क्लीनिंग का प्रोसेस है उसका एक बहुत अहम हिस्सा ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है। आज हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं एक नुमाइंदे कैलगरी पार्किंग अथॉरिटी से। आइए मिलकर स्वागत करें उनका और उनसे जानें कि इस साल कैलगरी पार्किंग अथॉरिटी के क्या रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस हैं और किस तरह से हमें वो अफेक्ट करने वाले हैं। लेट्स वेलकम मिस्टर टॉड फ्रॉम कैलगरी पार्किंग अथॉरिटी। वेलकम टू द शो, सर।
Thank you, Amrit.
Sir, as I was explaining the viewers that last week Mr. Troy was here and he explained about the process, how the city of Calgary goes around the roads department, how they take care of cleaning the road. And another thing which you mentioned was rather about CPA, that is Calgary Parking Authority, how big role Calgary Parking Authority plays in the street cleaning process.
Absolutely.
So to start with, can you just let us know in what capacity you work with Calgary Parking Authority so that people know you pretty well now?
Absolutely. So my title is I'm the coordinator of parking safety and compliance.
Right.
And so what my role really entails, I oversee all of our enforcement officers.
Right.
We recently changed their designation to parking patrol and investigation officers. It's a bit of a mouthful. But that includes all of our on-street officers as well as our Park Plus drivers.
That's amazing, sir. Now, sir, what is actually street sweeping program?
So the street sweeping program is really a City of Calgary roads program,
Right.
as Troy would have explained last week. It's the process of picking up all the gravel, all of the other ice melting agents and everything that are so important to our winter travel. That all needs to come up off the roads in the spring. It causes safety issues and environmental issues. And so really the street sweeping program is all about the roads department getting out to over 16,000 kilometers in curbside space and clearing up all that gravel to make the roads safe and clean for us for the rest of the year.
That's amazing, sir. And how Calgary Parking Authority plays an important role in that process?
So in order to do the most effective job possible, the cars need to be off the road. All that gravel, all that chemical tends to get into the curbs, right where everybody is parking.
Absolutely.
And so all of that cleaning effort comes with parking restrictions that are temporary, lasting for just the day that the roads department is working in the area. But it is incredibly important that those restrictions be followed so that cleaning can be done. And that's where the Parking Authority comes in to enforce those restrictions, to provide education wherever possible, and as much as we can to just pave the way and clear the roads so that the maintenance department can come in and do their job.
Absolutely. In past few years, we have seen, sir, that Calgary Parking is taking more initiative in educating people. Because what I feel that it is not the question of ticketing somebody or doing something which is not liked by people, but education and giving the right information is very important. And we are very thankful to CPA and all the team that you guys always take out time and come to us and tell all the information and the important information so that it is conveyed to the community in the right way. Now, sir, street cleaning process was done last year or the year before. Every year it's the same process, because as you say, it is very much necessary to clean the roads. It could be very hazardous for the vehicles because there are small granules and it can come to the it can hit us in the windscreens and break the glasses. Also, if I'm not wrong, it is very slippery, kids biking, and it could be very fatal for them also.
Absolutely. It's, what provides such good traction during the winter is terrible traction the rest of the year.
Absolutely.
So it's not, it's not great for your cars. It's really bad for bikes, kids in general. It's really not good for pets. So it's incredibly important that it comes up off the roads.
Absolutely. So can you explain a little bit about the process, what to start, like what we are expecting? Will it be the same, putting up signs till the end? Can you just explain a little bit about the process, sir?
Absolutely. So the process really changed in a big way in 2019. At that point, the decision was made between the Roads Department and the Calgary Parking Authority to move more to using our Park Plus system and the camera cars, as most people know them, that are used predominantly downtown and in permit areas.
Right.
And what changed there is that the Roads Department would do larger areas, and what people will see is actually large signs that will be put up at all the entrances to their community. So they won't be on every block, just as you come into your community. And those signs will have the dates and times when your neighborhood is going to get street cleaning. During those times, and it will usually be 1 to 2 days, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., all vehicles need to be off the roads in that neighborhood, off all of the public streets. They can go to back alleys and they can go to surface lots and then go to driveways and all those sorts of places. We would strongly encourage people to move their cars there. But during that time, the roads need to be clear. And we'll be out with our camera cars, which means you won't see the tickets on the windshields the way that you have in the past. But it also means that we can get to everywhere. It used to be that we could only get to a few neighborhoods because it was a slow, labor-intensive process. And by moving to the camera cars, we're able to get to all parts of the city and provide an equal level of enforcement. Last year was an anomaly, as we all know, for a lot of reasons. So it was a little bit different program. What we're coming back to this year is an enforcement program that's a lot more like it was in 2019, which means universal enforcement right across the city. Every neighborhood will receive that same level of enforcement and of education. And 2019 there was also quite a few tickets written because it was a little bit new. We're hoping that everyone learned from that experience, and because really the important thing is that the cars are moved. And so if we can write fewer tickets, but the curb is clear and Roads is able to do its job, that's really what we're looking for.
And I think the main motive is not to write the tickets, right? The main motive is to educate people and tell them that in case the ticket is issued, it is a kind of learning process that from next year be aware, right?
Absolutely. Using the camera cars is a long-term process. We understand that. It's not quite as quick as if we can talk to someone right on the roadway or we can actually discuss it face to face. But when we're dealing with the entire city, we can't do it that way. And so really getting the camera cars out and making sure that everyone knows the process. We knew that it would take a couple of years, and we're hoping to see the fruits of that labor this year with a more efficient process.
Absolutely, sir. How will the residents know which date the cleaning will be done in their areas?
There's a few different ways. The predominant way is the signs. So every entrance to the community will have a sign on it, and that sign will tell you the date and time that the operation will be in your neighborhood. There are also, you can go to calgary.ca/sweep. We'll have the full schedule up online. You can also sign up through that website to get notifications about your specific neighborhood so that you'll actually receive an alert to your phone telling you when that street cleaning operation is coming. So any of those ways or all of those ways, whatever people would like to put in place, especially this year with a lot of people working from home, we do encourage people to go online, find out what date your neighborhood is being done, and get it in your calendar, get that notification, just in case you're not out walking around and don't have the chance to see those signs.
Todd, sir, last time I remember people complaining about there were not adequate signages. where they can complain about that? Because I think
Yeah.
that is done by the city, not by Calgary Parking, right?
That is true. So it is the roads department that puts up the sign. So, but following 2019, we worked with the roads department a great deal, and they've been very responsive and very collaborative in improving the signage in all of the communities across the city. Once again, it was a new program, and in a lot of cases, the neighborhoods were just more complicated than anyone, even in an abstract sense, anyone realized. And so we had a real operational chance to get out and see what they were like. In 2019, we reviewed every single ticket that we issued to make sure that they were in areas which were properly signed. And if they weren't, we canceled them on our own, from our own decision. This year, if anyone gets a ticket and they feel that signage was not adequate, they can appeal the Calgary Parking Authority, and there will be instructions on their notice telling them how to file that appeal. But really, if you go to calgaryparking.com, that is the easiest way to do it anyway. And so we'd encourage people to do that, and we'll go back and we'll review the signage and make sure it was in fact adequate. But once again, we do encourage people that it's not going to be on their block. It will be at the entrances, the major routes. It should. The way that it's intended is that you can't get to your house without driving past a sign, basically. There might be errors in that. Signs fall down, intersections get missed, and we're always willing to relook at that. But we do keep pretty good records. The roads department is keeping records of when the signs go up, and we check them in advance of the actual enforcement operation. So we will check those records to make sure, but errors are possible, and we're always willing to review to make sure one didn't happen in an individual's particular case.
Absolutely. आप देख रहे हैं प्रोग्राम कैलगरी फोकस. एक छोटा सा ब्रेक, और ब्रेक के बाद मैं आपसे फिर जुड़ूंगा विद मिस्टर टॉड, जो कि हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं कैलगरी पार्किंग अथॉरिटी से. देखते रहिए, सुनते रहिए कैलगरी फोकस ओनली ऑन पंजाबी नेशनल टीवी. वेलकम बैक. एक बार फिर से स्वागत हमारे प्रोग्राम कैलगरी फोकस में. हम लोग बातचीत कर रहे हैं मिस्टर टॉड के साथ, जो हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं कैलगरी पार्किंग अथॉरिटी से, और आज हम आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन दे रहे हैं स्ट्रीट क्लीनिंग प्रोसेस के बारे में. मिस्टर टॉड ने भी बताया कि सबसे ज़रूरी है कि आप साइनेजेस का ध्यान रखें. अगर आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहिए तो calgary.ca पे जाके /sweep अगर आप डालेंगे तो आपके पास जो पेज आएगा उसमें आप एड्रेस डाल के आप अपनी डेट का पता कर सकते हैं, किस टाइम और किस दिन आपके एरिया में स्ट्रीट क्लीनिंग की जाएगी. उसके अलावा आप 311 फ़ोन कर सकते हैं और वो आपको सही इन्फॉर्मेशन दे सकते हैं. सो देयर आर मैनी डिफरेंट वेज जिसके थ्रू आपको पता लग सकता है कि किस दिन आपके एरिया में स्ट्रीट क्लीनिंग की जाएगी. मिस्टर टॉड ने ये भी बताया कि 2019 से एक नया दौर शुरू हुआ जहाँ पर कैमरा कार्स को यूज़ किया गया ताकि ज़्यादा एरिया को कवर किया जा सके, और उसकी वजह से कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स आई कि टिकट्स काफ़ी इशू हुई, लेकिन फिर भी एक बहुत बढ़िया लर्निंग प्रोसेस कैलगरी पार्किंग अथॉरिटी ने सिटी ऑफ कैलगरी के साथ मिलकर इनिशिएट किया और उसको आगे बढ़ाया. अब 2021, लेकिन कोविड ने अभी भी हमारा पीछा नहीं छोड़ा है और हम लोग फिर फेज़ 1 पे आ गए हैं, और इस साल देखते हैं कि क्या जो ये प्रोसेस है वो अच्छी तरह से या ठीक तरह से हो पाएगा या नहीं. मिस्टर टॉड, द मेन थिंग व्हिच पीपल fear is that in case the signage is missed, okay, and they miss the timings of that particular area, that in their area, that what timings will be the truck will be coming and cleaning the road. Now, somehow they find it, okay, and in last year the process was that in case the truck goes by and your car is still there, after the truck goes by, you can clean the area, put it in a bag, send a picture in case the ticket is issued, and then the ticket appeal the ticket through a process, and the ticket will be waived. What is the process this year now?
So that was really just for last year. The sweeping program and the voluntary cleanup was just for 2020. As I'm sure everyone remembers, street sweeping started very soon last year after the COVID-19 issue after the pandemic really started and there was local states of emergency. And so that program was just in a response, in an attempt to balance the compassion for the citizens of Calgary with that need that even during a pandemic, the street sweeping needed to happen. This year, there won't be any additional accommodation or any allowance for cleaning the street in front of your own house. It's a very difficult program to manage, of course, and making sure everyone cleans it to the right standard. And of course, you're cleaning up all of that material, and there's dust, and there's all sorts of things you don't want to get into. So this year, really, if the signs are out, your car really just needs to be moved, is what it really comes down to. And if it isn't moved, it is very likely that you will get a ticket. And unfortunately, if you do get that ticket, the option is not going to be there this year to sweep it up yourself. If the sign is missed, or if there's a confusion about dates and times, we can absolutely look at that. But unfortunately, if you just forget and you try and sweep it up yourself, that's great. And we encourage people to keep the area in front of their house clean, but it won't mean that we can cancel the ticket this year.
तो ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन आप सबके लिए कि लास्ट ईयर को अगर आप कंपेयर करेंगे तो इस साल इस प्रोग्राम में जो तब्दीली आई है वो ये है कि आप अगर ये डेट मिस कर जाते हैं और आपकी गाड़ी अभी भी वहीं खड़ी हुई है जो आपकी स्ट्रीट क्लीन ट्रक्स आए हैं आपका एरिया क्लीन करने के लिए, तो लास्ट ईयर आप क्लीन कर सकते थे बैग में डालकर, अगर आपको टिकट मिली थी तो उसको आप अपील कर सकते थे अपनी फोटोग्राफ्स के साथ. बट दिस ईयर दैट विल नॉट एन ऑप्शन बिकॉज वी लर्न फ्रॉम लास्ट ईयर दैट व्हाट इज़ द प्रोसेस. बट मेक श्योर दैट यू डोंट डू दैट. डोंट फॉरगेट कि किस दिन आपकी एरिया की क्लीनिंग होने वाली है. इनफ टाइम है. आज 10 तारीख है और आई थिंक द cleaning starts on 19th, sir?
The intention right now is the program is going to start the 19th of April. If there's any severe weather between
then it may
this,
delay it, yes.
but right now the 19th is the time.
So 19 तारीख से स्ट्रीट क्लीनिंग शुरू होने वाली है कैलगरी के अंदर. हमारे पास इनफ टाइम है. We can go through different process to find out about our area when the street cleaning will be done. So please, we encourage you, please जो भी टूल्स हैं, चाहे वो 311 है या calgary.ca/sweep है, उस प्रोग्राम पे जाकर आप नोटिफिकेशंस भी ले सकते हैं अपने सेल फोन पे. यू कैन रजिस्टर इट विद योर ईमेल, विद योर फ़ोन नंबर, और आप सबको नोटिफिकेशंस मिलेंगी कि इस दिन आपकी स्ट्रीट क्लीनिंग होने वाली है. आप थोड़ा सा विजिलेंट रहें. ट्राई टू सी द इंटरसेक्शंस, द एंट्रीज ऑफ योर कम्युनिटी सो दैट you don't miss those signs. I know it's very easy to say that, okay, what if I get the ticket, but still it's your hard earned money. Why you want to waste it? अगर $120 की टिकट है, and I think, sir, the cleaning ticket starts with $80, right? The actual is $120, right?
Yes, a street cleaning ticket is $120. We do have early payment options. So if you pay it within the first 10 days of having received it, it'll be $80. If you pay within the first 30, it'll be $90. But any point beyond that is a $120 ticket.
So $120 की टिकट है. आप सोच सकते हैं अगर आप पहले पे कर देते हैं तो ठीक है, आपको 30 या $20 का एक डिस्काउंट मिल जाता है, लेकिन unnecessary wastage of money है. Plus there is extra work into that and you also feel कि unnecessary टिकट मिली है. तो तभी हम अपने माध्यम से, हमारे रेडियो, हमारा टीवी, हमारा पंजाबी नेशनल न्यूज़पेपर हमेशा आपके लिए तत्पर तैयार रहता है सही इन्फॉर्मेशन देने के लिए, टाइम पे इन्फॉर्मेशन देने के लिए, ताकि आप इस प्रोसेस को अच्छी तरह से समझकर अच्छी तरह से आप उसको समझें और सही जगह पर या सही टाइम पर अपनी गाड़ी को वहाँ से हटाएं. Another question which people come up with is, where do I park? And correct me if I'm wrong, sir. I always feel that if you have the information at the right time, you can always plan, right? What are your suggestions to that?
Well, the intention is that each street cleaning operation is in a fairly limited space, physical space. And so the best bet is to get your car out of that neighborhood to just a neighboring street, somewhere nearby, of course, that's still convenient to you. Driveways, back alleys are not part of the street cleaning process. So any vehicle that's placed there. course, there are surface lots, so publicly accessible ones like libraries, public pools, community centers, things of that nature. You can use private lots if you've talked to the owner of the lot. So if you're going to park at a mall or you're going to park at any of those sorts of places, do make sure you check with the owners and operators of the mall that they're all right with you being parked there for the day. Of course, if you're at work, taking your car to work for the day is a great option as well. We never encourage anyone to park illegally during that time. So, please stay off the grass and off of boulevards and things of that nature. But really just, we're not coming along to punish anyone who's made an honest attempt to get themselves off of the road. So park safely, park legally, and responsibly. And as you said, plan in advance. If you wait until the morning because you hear the street sweepers coming, first of all, there's a good chance you're too late because we will start enforcing right at the very beginning of that parking ban. So right at 8 o'clock when they start, if your car hasn't moved by then, there is a chance you'll get a ticket. We don't wait for the truck to come by. So if you've waited for the truck, you might be too late. But if you're in a panic looking for somewhere to park, then it's going to be very difficult. But when you see those signs, and they should be up a few days in advance, and the schedule will be up potentially weeks in advance, plan where you can go. Take a look for a spot. And keeping in mind it's only one day. So it may not be the most convenient thing in the world,
Absolutely.
And we recognize that.
It's one day.
But it is one day, and the benefit is to everyone. And so it's worth that one day of inconvenience to get the streets properly cleaned.
Another question which I wanted you to tell our listeners, sir, on that particular day, if, and especially the new communities, you have seen the Skyview, Redstone, they're quite congested and the parking is a kind of problem over there. Now, on that particular day when the street cleaning is happening, can they park in the back alley? Because again, there are certain restrictions parking in the back alley. Will there be any, leverage on that day that, okay, if nobody is complaining, like, you are not blocking somebody's a garage, or maybe you are blocking, but will a consideration will be given on that particular day that it was street cleaning, so they were parking in the back alley?
As I said, we never encourage anyone to park illegally. So, I can't tell anyone to do that here. But
No,
what I will say is, if people are conscientious of each other, so everyone is aware that street cleaning is happening on a particular day, don't block in your neighbor who hasn't left for work yet, and if the garbage truck shouldn't be coming on those same days, but don't block up those things, because if that happens, or if any safety concerns come up, so any driveways are blocked, fire hydrants are blocked, things of that nature, we may have to come out and enforce those infractions. In general, we're not going to be coming along and looking for those things. We understand that for that day people may have to be a little bit creative, but also keeping in mind that at the end, in the interest of being conscientious to your neighbors, move your vehicle as quickly as possible. So as soon as you get home from work, get your car back to where it normally is, just so that once again you're not inconveniencing those around you. And we'd also encourage, that neighbors be considerate of each other on those days. Realize that, once again, it's one day a year, but it's for everybody's benefit if we can realize that we're all in the same boat, all trying to get the same work done, and just think of each other at that time. So,
one question, and then I will tell you why I asked you this question, sir.
Fair enough.
Now, parking on the sidewalks, or maybe the area in front of your house, like the green space, can they park over there to avoid, like if they don't have any other space to go, or in the back alley, can they park on the boulevard or the green space for that particular time, or they shouldn't be doing that?
That would be parking illegally, and so we would never encourage anyone to do that. It does create safety issues as well. If vehicles are blocking all of the pedestrian routes, then you're forcing the pedestrians to go to places which are not designed for them, and potentially causing safety issues. Once again, we're not going to be looking for those things and trying to add to anybody's difficulty on that day. But that being said, if we receive complaints that those pedestrian walkways are blocked, we do have to come out and handle those issues.
Absolutely. आप सुन रहे हैं मिस्टर टॉड को, जो कि आए हैं कैलगरी पार्किंग अथॉरिटी से। एक छोटा सा ब्रेक, और ब्रेक के बाद मैं आपके साथ दोबारा जुड़ूंगा और थोड़ी बहुत जो इन्फॉर्मेशन हम और मिस्टर टॉड से सुनेंगे उसको आपके लिए हाजिर करूंगा। आप देख रहे हैं प्रोग्राम कैलगरी फोकस ओनली ऑन पंजाबी नेशनल टीवी। वेलकम बैक, एक बार फिर से स्वागत हमारे प्रोग्राम कैलगरी फोकस में। हम आज बातचीत कर रहे हैं स्ट्रीट क्लीनिंग प्रोसेस के बारे में और आप अगर स्ट्रीट क्लीनिंग प्रोसेस के बारे में जानना चाहते हैं कि आपके एरिया में कब हो रही है तो एक बार फिर द इंफॉर्मेशन इज और द प्लेस इज calgary.ca/sweep, वहाँ पर जाकर आप रजिस्टर करवाइए. मिस्टर टॉड, as you have said that one has to be very considerate about your neighbors, and it is just one day, and that's why I asked the questions where I want to encourage people that in case there is no space in front of, on back of the your house or in front of the house, and if you are by chance blocking a little bit of your neighbor's garage, that is not the time you should go out and start yelling or calling people that this person is doing that. It is one day. We can always accommodate. We can be good neighbors to each other. We can help out each other. And as Mr. Todd said, that's not the time when they will be running around to see which person is complaining or rather blocking somebody's until it's complained. So be sure that you are helping each other. You are not just complaining unreasonably and trying to get other person in trouble, because it is just for few hours on a particular day where that road has to be cleaned, and we should accommodate each other. We should help out each other, especially in COVID times, Mr. Todd. I think that is very much necessary.
We do genuinely hope so. Calling us is always the last resort. We want to help the community, but the best help for each other when activities like this are going on is just understanding and communication. If you don't want your neighbor to be upset that you blocked their driveway, knock on their door, leave them a note, let them know that you're going to be there and that you'll move as soon as you can, and then to just be understanding with each other, because we have only limited options, and most of those options involve tickets and fines, and we don't want to be in that position. We will be if we have to be, but we don't want to be if we can avoid it.
Absolutely, sir. Now, another question which comes to our mind, that in front of my house, the truck comes, but I have a neighbor whose car is still parked. Right now, as a duty, I moved my vehicle, but that person is still having his vehicle over there. Now, do I have the option to call Calgary Parking and tell the Calgary Parking that this vehicle is still there?
You can.
Okay.
There's a couple things to understand there. First of all, the camera cars are very good at their job. So that person has probably already received a ticket. That ticket's going to be delivered in the mail, and they'll receive it in a few days. And so you may not see it on the windshield, but it's very likely they're already going to receive it and it's on its way. As far as removing the vehicle, we quite frankly, the resources don't exist in the city to move everybody.
Absolutely.
It just couldn't happen in time. And so our direction this year is to try and tow as little as possible. Really, every time we tow a vehicle, it means that we're interfering with someone's personal property. And so for us, it's really the last resort. But you are free to call us. And so if someone has left their vehicle in place, you can let us know, and we can communicate with the roads department as well. Another great option is to contact 311 and let them know that, hey, my block didn't get cleaned. My neighbors were out in front. It's at the discretion of the roads department to determine what they'll do with that information, but it helps highlight it for them as well, to see if there's any additional help that can be provided. But as far as getting a ticket, they're probably already getting a ticket. You just don't see it on the windshield. The ticket is on its way. So.
Absolutely, sir. And the question which just went out of my mind, and with this sentence of yours came back, that Mr. Troy told us, our viewers last time, that in case the vehicle is still parked and the area doesn't get clean, if you report that, then it goes to the last phase. So I think in case अगर आपका area clean नहीं हुआ, आपके neighbors ने गाड़ी वहाँ छोड़ दी है, it's likely they're going to get a ticket. But अगर आपको ये डर है कि आपका area कैसे दोबारा से clean होगा, तो आप 311 पे कॉल करें और उनको बताएं, तो वो आपको रखेंगे उस cleaning process में, but that will be done at the last phase. So that is also an option. Mr. Todd, if somebody gets a ticket, what is the way to appeal it?
The easiest way is to go online. So if you go to calgaryparking.com and follow the directions there to file what's called an administrative review or ticket appeal. Be prepared at that point to have any information or evidence that you can provide to us. And we'll take a look and we'll compare it to the records that we have and the pictures and those items that we already have in place. There are other means, but during COVID, we strongly encourage people to use the online portal as much as possible. If the answer there is unsatisfactory, you always have the option to take it to traffic court, and you'll receive instructions that will help you through that process as well once you get to that stage in the ticketing process. But as I've mentioned before, let us know. There's always the chance for error. We do keep records on each stage, and so we'll be able to compare it to that process. But there's a lot of roadway, a lot of curbside that's going to get swept and that's going to get enforced in the next 6 weeks. It's possible that something got missed, and we take every appeal seriously, and we review every appeal seriously, and if there's a reason that your ticket should be cancelled, we will do that for you.
Amazing. कैलगरी पार्किंग अथॉरिटी ने एक नया कॉन्टैक्ट सेंटर शुरू किया है. अगर आपको कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए या आप किसी से बात करना चाहते हैं तो आप कॉल कीजिए 403-537-7000 या 403-537-7100, 403-537-7111. आपके ऑप्शंस हैं नंबर 1 जो टिकट और टोड व्हीकल इंक्वायरीज के लिए, नंबर 2 पार्किंग परमिट्स के लिए, मेंबरशिप अगर आपकी जू टेलिस वगैरह में है, पार्क प्लस मंथली पार्किंग आप नंबर 2 दबा सकते हैं. इलीगली पार्क्ड व्हीकल्स के लिए द ऑप्शन इज नंबर 3. सिक्योरिटी के लिए नंबर 4 अगर आपकी गाड़ी किसी पार्केट में खड़ी है और आपको किस तरह की हेल्प चाहिए, और स्ट्रीट क्लीनिंग के लिए नंबर 6. फॉर ऑल अदर जो आपके इंक्वायरीज हैं उसके लिए नंबर 9. तो ये एक नया कॉन्टैक्ट सेंटर शुरू किया है कैलगरी पार्किंग अथॉरिटी ने, जहां पे अंडर 1 नंबर आपको सारी जो इन्फॉर्मेशन है वो मिलेगी. मिस्टर टॉड, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर बीइंग हियर विद अस टुडे and giving us such valuable information. And I'm again on my behalf of my team, I thank Calgary Parking Authority and you for taking out time and giving us the important points regarding the street cleaning process. Before we end today's program, what is your message to the public?
Really, the most important thing for the public to know this year: pay attention to the signs. Keep yourself informed about the timings in your area, and make sure your car is moved. There is no more important message than that from the Calgary Parking Authority with street sweeping. Please just make sure that your car is moved so that you can get the sweeping done, and so that we don't have to issue a ticket.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much once again for being here. And in coming times, if you have any message you want us to tell the community over here, please do let us know. We can translate for you, and then it can be conveyed to the people at the right time.
Excellent.
तो आप देख रहे हैं प्रोग्राम कैलगरी फोकस. मैं आपका होस्ट, आपका दोस्त अमृत बरार आपसे इजाज़त लेता हूं, और अगले वीक एक बार फिर जुड़ूंगा आपसे के साथ विद लॉट ऑफ मोर इन्फॉर्मेशन और एक स्पेशल गेस्ट के साथ. तब तक आप देखते रहिए पंजाबी नेशनल टीवी. थैंक यू सो मच.